Welcome to St. Augustine this evening, the Mike Davis Show, and we've got a great show for you. Got an amazing guest, an entrepreneur here who's made it big, and we want to just talk to him and find out how and why. But before that, we got to welcome Levi back. Our youth movement is in the house tonight.
We're back, baby.
You're back.
We are back.
This is 2 in a row for you.
I'm back.
You're on a streak.
America's back. We're back.
We're back, and Amanda's with us tonight producing. Amanda?
What up, everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
You got out of the booth.
I got out of the booth.
You spent
today.
all last night in the booth. You probably had your feet up. You're probably just eating in there, checking out social media pages.
You can disassociate in there. It's dark. There's all the blinky lights. You don't know what's going to happen.
We had a great interview with Epic.
We did.
We had Gary and Nanji on yesterday, and Davey did, as always, just an amazing job.
He's fantastic.
Yeah, I know it's Tuesday and he brought a guest. I just walked downstairs.
I know.
I don't have to bring any prep. I know Davey's here. I just got to bring a little bit of energy so I don't get overwhelmed.
You have to work so much harder when it's just me.
He's got a tsunami of energy, though.
He does.
You and I are more laid back. Davey's just like everywhere.
Yeah,
so,
he's amazing.
Yes, he is amazing. Yeah. So, and have you heard anything from Florida Man Games? Any updates from the front?
No updates from the front right now. They're building things out right now, and it's going to be crazy.
I was in the barber shop today, and they're like, "Are you going? Did you buy your tickets?" Like, no, I'm the designated survivor. I'm not allowed to go.
Gotta tell them the truth.
I'm going to be out of town. But Pete never asked me when he's scheduling it, nor should he. It's his event. He should do exactly what he wants to do. But yeah, I got to be someplace on Saturday. Yeah. Just like last year. Yeah. Not saying next year will be the same, but yeah.
I had places to be, but I couldn't get shifts covered. So I'm going to be there.
You're going to be there. All right. Let's make some money before we introduce our amazing guests.
Sounds good.
All right, Aber Kresge & Associates, they're a full-service local CPA firm with a team of skilled professionals dedicated to providing top levels of service in the areas of tax compliance, planning for businesses, individuals, estates, and trusts. They can also do audits, reviews, and other accounting services. If you need a business valuation, forensic analysis, or litigation support, and we hope you don't need that, you can trust Billy Aber, Ken Kresge. You can reach him at 904-460-0747 or online at abearkresgecpa.com.
Absolutely. Let's step into the world of support and healing with Epic Behavioral Healthcare. For over 50 years, Epic has been a beacon of hope for our community, providing compassionate care for those touched by substance use or mental health disorders. Whether you're a kid, teen, adult, couple, or family, Epic is here to lend a helping hand. With a range of programs tailored to meet diverse needs, Epic offers accessible solutions for everyone from walk-in access centers to mobile response team, from inpatient detoxification to outpatient counseling. Epic provides comprehensive care every step of the way. Their services include psychiatric evaluations, medication management, medication-assisted treatment, care coordination, peer support, suicide prevention training, parenting education, and much, much more. Join us on this journey of empowerment and transformation. Together, we can make a difference. Epic Behavioral Healthcare, where compassion meets commitment.
A to Z offers free estimates and has been serving St. Johns County for over 20 years in the construction industry. A to Z offers painted metal roofs for saltwater area homes with warranties for up to 25 years. A to Z offers shingle roofs with warranties up to 50 years. A to Z also installs tile roofing, cedar shake shingles, designer roofing, and flat roof coverings. Recent job photos with material descriptions can be sent at A to Z roofing and waterproofing.com. We
gave him some easy reads for a while, threw him to the wolves finally. I actually warned him, this is the one phrase you got to make sure. Yeah. He's like, it's not that bad. And then he said it out loud. He's like, oh, yeah.
Oh, that's harder than you
think. In the mind, it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's deceptive.
It can be. All right. Moultrie Creek Diner, or Anastasia Diner. These neighborhood diners are more than just a place to eat. They're where hospitality blooms and friends gather. Bring your own friends or make new ones. The coffee is always hot, the smiles are genuine, and the food tastes like home. Every meal is a chance to make memories, share stories, and create bonds that last a lifetime. It's not just about the food on the plate, but the community that comes together at the table. Come see us at Moultrie Creek Diner, Anastasia Diner, and tell them Andy sent you.
He's the man.
He is the man. Andy's awesome. He does so much stuff quietly behind the scenes to help people, and just a good person. Food's always great. Staff over there is awesome. It's just my favorite place for breakfast.
We love Andy.
So, yes. It's an awesome, awesome place. All right. Our guest tonight, Andreas, Crave Restaurant.
Yes, sir.
Not one, but two. One wasn't enough. You guys said we're going to do more. But you opened up in 2013.
Yes, sir.
So how long, I mean, you went to Flagler College, graduated.
Yep.
So how long after you got out of Flagler did you have the idea, I'm going to do Crave, I'm going to do a food truck, and I'm going to open up? What was the thought process?
To be honest, thanks for having me on, by the way. Super excited to be here.
Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, Levi's been telling me to come for a while, so finally got
Levi
it.
told us he was your friend. You're so cool. I didn't know if Levi really could be your friend or not, but now
I feel the other way. I feel the other way. I've known Levi for a long time. Yeah. And so, yeah, we finally got some time to come on, so I appreciate you guys having us. But yeah, we, to be honest with you, my wife, it was all her idea to do all of it. My wife, Renee, she was the mastermind behind the whole operation. And we met after I had graduated from Flagler. We were working together at the Casa Monica Hotel, where I know Amanda and her husband from. And yeah, she had an idea that she wanted to open a healthy lunch eatery. And at the time, there was only Nalu's food truck was the only game in town at all. And we wanted to do something that was easy entry into the market, like not as expensive as going brick and mortar. So she decided food truck. So we started working on menus, and one thing led to another, and we both quit our jobs, pulled all our money together, bought a food truck, and just went for it. Not the most intelligent business plan. We didn't even have a business plan, to be honest with you. We just were like, we figured out how much we were making at the hotel. We're like, all right, if we can serve 35 lunches a day, we'll make as much as we're making now. It's worth the risk.
Was
so
it
let's
just
go
the
for it.
two of you in the food truck then?
Oh yeah. It was just the two of us in a 14-foot box for about almost 2 years, just us. And then we started
marriage boot camp.
Yeah, oh yeah. We met in a work setting, so we worked well together already. So it was definitely a good synergy and good fit that we were able to handle working together for sure.
And you guys had a great location. I mean,
Yeah,
a little waterfront down there, and it was really nice. I mean, we would meet down there, and I know my son Reese Reese and my wife were like, "You got to go to this place, Crave. You got to go to this place, Crave." They were like way onto you before.
Reese. I remember Reese early days. Can't forget his hair.
No, you cannot. No, you see Reese, you do not forget his hair. You absolutely no. Absolutely a phenomenal food. I mean, disclosure, I eat there 3-4 times a month.
I see you guys all the time.
We're in there all the time, and you guys just do such a good job.
Thank you.
Food's always good. Service is amazing. So you guys just do such a good job.
Appreciate it.
6 years or so, 7 years on the food truck, and then you guys decide we're going to do brick and mortar.
Yeah. So we were doing, we did food truck for 7 years, and we loved it. It was awesome, but it obviously had some of its limitations, and the main driving force that got us out was weather dependency, because on days where it was rainy, we would super slow. On days where it was too cold or too hot, we just found through the years, we would, map out our whole year, and it was like over a third of the year, we were losing money and losing business to dependency from the weather. And we're like, man, we had just had our first child, Izzy, and we were like, we need to be able to have some sort of more stability and steady. And we were kind of on, year-to-year leases at the food truck location we were at. So the opportunity presented itself. Joe Tringali, honestly, was the one that got us introduced to where we are now. He was neighbors with the landlord where we're at in the space on King Street. And we know Joe real well, super good guy.
Joe's a great guy.
Yeah.
I talked to him today. He's a wonderful
I love
person.
Joe. I will always be grateful for him for what he did for us. Found us that location, introduced us to the owner. And one thing led to another. We signed the lease there, and we were off to the races in the building in downtown.
Because that was a Subway, I think, before you guys moved. It was a Subway for a long time.
Yeah, it was a Subway
Much better than a Subway, I can tell you that.
I know the guy that runs the Subways in town.
Subway reasonably fresh, but Crave is actually fresh.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
No, I got to be careful.
Dave. I know Dave. Dave's a nice guy. Yeah.
I'll see DT tomorrow morning. I'll be working out with him at Sal's. So great guy.
Good
so
spot.
Not a slam on Subway at all.
No. And Dave was super helpful helping us transition into there and everything. He was super cool.
Oh, he's a super good guy.
Yeah.
What was the biggest difference once you got into brick and mortar? What was the big? I mean, you didn't get any rain days off, so now you're working every day. So what was the biggest difference?
The biggest difference, honestly, man, the fact that we didn't have to worry about the weather. I stopped checking the weather every day. Like that was like the first thing I had to wake up in the morning, check the weather right away, and that would dictate who we staffed, how many people, are we getting people come out, how much food we're prepping. That whole guessing game was removed because it was so much more consistent, and it's been so much easier being in a building space. Like everything's just in one spot. We don't have to worry about all these sort of like, extraneous variables that we had to worry about in the food truck. We've been very happy being in the spot for sure.
Well, and you and I were talking right before the show. You signed the lease in January of 2020.
Yeah.
So that was right before everything just
Yeah.
fell apart.
Before the world went crazy.
Before the world went crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I got on a plane in the beginning of March and flew down to Costa Rica for a week. And I'm like, this is going to work itself out. It'll all be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we thought.
And Sal, who was with me, Reparo, had just opened up his gym.
Yeah.
It just opened it up.
Great facility.
And he is just, getting phone call from all his clients. When are you shutting down? You're going to shut down. They're going to shut down. And he's like, what are we doing? I said, we're down here. We're going to serve. I said, Trump's president. He'll never shut the country down, right? That was like
Famous
the
last
10th
words.
or 11th of March. And then on the 13th, which is a Friday, he walks into the restaurant and shuts everything down.
Yeah.
We're watching it, and I'm like, well, I guess I was wrong about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. We felt the same way. We're like, oh, nothing's going to happen. It's going to be, a bunch of overhype. And then one thing, everyone was in lockdown mode. Thank God we were in Florida. Things were a lot more open and loose. But yeah, it was definitely a weird time. So we signed the lease January of 2020 before anyone knew about what COVID was or anything. A couple months into our build out, we start seeing all this going on, and we're like, ooh, can't back out now. We're already all in. So it was like, we had like very, very much like, sellers or buyer's remorse. We're like, we're going to do this. So we trucked on through, and we opened in June of 2020. And that was just like, it was crazy because like everybody was talking about how everything was so slow and all that. When we opened that new spot, it was so busy for so long. It was crazy because I think a lot of other states were in sort of like restricted, situations and lockdowns. And Florida wasn't at the time. And it was just, tourists pouring in. It was crazy. And we did not get to hit the ground and like baby step. Like we hit the ground sprinting in that new spot. So we had all the kinks ironed out like within the first day. All the things that could have gone wrong went wrong. And we're like, okay, so this is the new normal for a while. Yeah. But yeah, it was crazy.
No, and you got to think, you guys had so much faith in what you were doing, right? There's some people that would have said, well, we need to go back to the landlord, cancel this lease. We need to cancel this. You guys just said, hey, we're going to get it done.
Yeah.
And
well, we had already sold the food truck too. Like we were at the edge of the cliff, and we had already jumped. So like there was the parachute. We had no parachute to pull. We were like, even if we had wanted to backtrack, the food truck had been sold. Like it was just like we were going forward with it. I had a client back in the early 90s who was moving from the West Coast to St. Augustine. Signed all the papers, sold his house. We were under contract to build his house, and he said, you got to be done by such and such a date. I said, he told me, my wife and I have left the diving board. Yeah. You have to put water in the pool. Yeah. Because if we get there and the house isn't done, there's no water in the pool. No water. We're going to splat.
We're going to splat. So you guys were kind of in that same sense. There had to be water in the pool.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that you guys were able to get through that. And I think, Floridians just kind of took a different attitude after a little bit of time with COVID and said, hey, we're open. We're going to go. We're going to go do our thing. And, I had family that would come from other parts of the country, and they'd be like, well, what are the rules on this and this? I said, you're in Florida. There's no rules. Just pretty much do
there are no rules.
You're okay. If you want to do that thing, if you want to wear the mask, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Just go where you want to go. You're fine.
Very true. It was very different, just a whole different mindset during that whole period. Yeah. We had so many neighbors in our neighborhood that like moved from other states because of that. They were like, oh, we just couldn't take it anymore. Like we needed to get out. And I remember a funny story. A friend of mine, is one of our neighbors, moved from Boston. The first time he had left his neighborhood was to fly to Florida to see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing the Super Bowl. They're from New England. They're huge Tom Brady fans. Yeah. So he came down to Florida expecting everything to be how it was up there. And they were just like in shell shock. They were like, wait, people are going out, no mask, people getting drinks, doing it. And he went home that weekend and was like, put his house on the market. He's like, I'm getting out of there. Yeah. So he's living out here and happy. Yeah.
We would run into a lot of people during that time period because we did a lot of renovation work. People were home and they're like, if I'm going to be home for a while, I'm going to fix my home up. There's a lot of renovation work that was going on then. And a lot of newer people are like, well, how'd you get here? Well, I came because it was open. I came because it was open. Like a constant answer, I came because it was open.
Exactly.
It was just, I wanted to be someplace where I could go do things. In North Florida, you got a really good climate. You can be outside almost all year long.
And Augustine is like, we live where people vacation. Like it's true. Like even just on a normal Wednesday today, like get off work early, you got so much, you go to the beach, it's so much to do here, and the weather's usually pretty awesome.
So who comes up with the menu?
My wife.
Your wife.
I'm telling you right now, I take zero credit for anything as far as like the brain of this.
Yes.
I was just very personable and a very hard worker, and we had enough money pulled up to open our business in 2013. Yeah. So she was She did the menu. She did all the menu item names, like recipes, all of it. It's all hers. That was all her jam.
What's your best seller?
Honestly, one of the wraps. Usually, like I don't even know. They all sell well. The specials sell really well. Yep. Obviously we sell wraps, salads, smoothies, and bowls. Our wraps are kind of what we're known for. That's like what people really jam on.
So how's the college crowd?
College crowd's good.
Yeah.
It's kind of up and down, obviously. Like they're not in school all year long. So college crowd, they not as busy with college kids as people think. They think, oh, you're downtown, Flagler floods you. We get a lot of students for sure. A lot of the sports teams, tennis team, women's tennis. Rod, the coach there, is a good friend of mine. He brings the team all the time. The crowd, Flagler definitely boosts sales for sure, but not like we don't rely on them. You know what I mean?
Listen, the college kids they're still in that young age where they don't really have to focus on their health because their metabolism is still so high. When I was in college, I was drinking a 12-pack of beer and could still make it to my yoga elective class at 8 a.m.
We got held up.
It's not the same anymore.
We usually go Tuesday to Crave, and we got held up this Tuesday. Meeting ran late. It's like the only option we had to get any kind of food was to go into the cafeteria. And the cafeteria food's good. Yeah. But we ate horrible that day. And you're watching all the kids walking out. It's like, man, Crave would have been a whole lot healthier for me.
Dude, for real.
Part of that was my own choice. There was a salad bar. I did bypass it, so I did have a choice. But
I have a cool story about Crave. So this is back when I was playing college sports, and I was eating 5,000 calories a day, right? I was eating in the cafeteria. It was part of my meal plan, all this. I'm eating 5,000 calories a day. And my body was just so inflamed. And at this point in time, if you knew me growing up, I was such a picky eater. Like I only ate this canned Beefy Mac thing they used to sell. Like that's what my mom fed me every single day. And I just had this notion that healthy food didn't taste good. Yeah. That was just like my natural notion for some reason. And then I came across Crave one day. Someone introduced me to it. And I walked in or went to the food truck and I ate it. And I was like, oh my goodness, healthy food can taste good. Doesn't all taste bad. Yeah. And it just changed my entire perspective on healthy eating. Yeah. And I became like a Crave freaking craze. Literally. Like I was there.
You and your mom come all the time.
Yeah.
I remember.
Like, I still go like once a week, twice a week sometimes. Yeah. I don't see you as much because
I'm usually down.
Your wife has the new location. So I'm over there. It's right around the corner from my house. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm addicted to Crave. And now they got the Crave Rito. Oh my God. I haven't eaten anything besides that in like the past 3 months.
Well, when you eat.
When I eat.
Are you eating this week? Are we eating this week?
Yes, we're eating this week.
You're wasting away in front of us.
No. We're good. The diet is dialed now, sir.
Okay. All right. When did you meet Andreas?
So my husband worked with Andreas at Casa Monica. My husband worked his way up to sous chef at Casa Monica, but the way he got that position was he took a side jaunt out of the kitchen into the cafe. And he managed the cafe, and so he worked with Andreas and his wife.
Yeah. Louis was our manager for a while at the cafe downtown.
Worst manager ever. You did so good to get out on your own now. Louis is the most awesome guy. Yeah. He's the most chill, low-key, not like Amanda at all. I mean, high maintenance and everything, but Louis is just awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the show.
Louis was devastated when Andreas left, but he was so excited for you to open up Crave. I mean, Louis started out in the business world working hot dog carts. So he totally
was his dad, his father won the Home Depot. Yes. We used to go there all the time. Whenever we were at Home Depot, we get one of the bratwursts all there all the time. Yeah.
And so Louis, I worked at them very briefly. Louis helped run those, helped his dad open a restaurant, and then stepped back into culinary school and working at Casa Monica. And so he, like I said, his ultimate goal was to get in the kitchen chef position, and there just wasn't a path at that time when he was a line cook. And so it was like, well, the only way to get sous chef is to have management experience. And we went into the cafe.
Yeah, I remember that.
So healthy food eating at your restaurant, but you'll go to Home Depot to get the brat?
Hey, once in a blue moon, you got to treat yourself. When you're there, you're running, it's like, hey,
it's all about the 80-20 principle.
No bun, just the brat. No bun.
Cheese or no cheese?
No cheese, no cheese. Brat,
just checking.
No sauce.
So I have a question. So when you first open, right? When you first open the food truck, how do you source your food? Is it local markets or?
When we first opened, we were so small and it was not busy really. We would go to the farmer's market on Saturdays. There was a farm back then called S&J Farms. That was when we would go and we would load up all our stuff from there. And that would last us pretty much till like mid to late week. And then the rest of that, we would go the Wednesday beach market and source the rest of that week from there. As we obviously grew, then we started getting vendors, contracts with different local vendors, and we got delivery trucks now coming in all the time. But in the beginning, it was like me and my wife, we didn't have staff, we had nobody, we did everything.
I remember you telling me that when one of the first times I was there and you were explaining how everything worked, you were like, I literally get up and go to the farmer's market myself every morning.
We did that for like 2 years. And like with anything, like baby steps, you know, like you start small and as you get bigger, then you can kind of delegate things. But in the beginning, it was a lot. We were open 6 days a week, just her and I. And then on Sundays or one day off was running around, getting, you know, ingredients, getting stuff, prepping the whole day, cleaning the food truck, you know, all the maintenance. So it was like, we went pretty much 2 years without having any help and taking any days off at all. And knock on wood, luckily we never got sick, nothing. Like it was like, we talked about that. Like if one of us catches a cold or gets sick, like we're gonna have to close the food truck because like we don't have anyone to help. And we were through it, you know, we got lucky with that in that aspect. Just
I love
grinded
that.
it out.
So when you hired your first employee,
Alana O'Rourke.
A lot, really?
Yeah, Frank,
she's just a great person.
Alana O'Rourke, our first employee, one of the most wonderful people we know.
You hit the jackpot.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Another funny story about Alana. Her and Ruby, her good buddy Ruby Studevant, local kids, they went to Flagler. They used to come to Crave all the time as customers, and they loved from day one. They were there. Bam! They used to bring their whole Flagler crew, bring the whole squad. Nice. So Alana was there like 2 or 3 times a week at least, sometimes more. And she would always ask us, like, hey, if you guys need any help, you know, let us know. And we were like, hey, we're not busy enough for that. We'll let you know, whatever. So we originally started in the Rembrandt's parking lot when we first opened. We're there for a couple months. That spot fell through. Then we moved to the marina where Scott owns. And when we got there, we started getting a lot busier and ran that for a while. And one of our first like crazy busy spring days, I'll never forget. So Renee and I were working, and out of nowhere, I'm talking like 12 o'clock noon hits, people just start showing up. Cars start pulling around, and we're like, these people coming for us? And we had never been like busy before. We had been steady, but not like from one second to the next, we have a line of like 20 people. And it's me on the register. I run the front window and do smoothies on the side at the time. And my wife is doing all the food. Like she's making the food, expoing the food, boxing it, the whole thing. And we got 20 people in line out of nowhere. And we're like, what are we doing? Like happy, freaking out, panicking. And we're just like, oh my God. So the line doesn't stop. I mean, more people coming, the to-go phone's ringing. And we're like, we can't handle this. Alana's eating with her friends on one of the picnic tables. And I scream out the window. I'm like, Alana, can you come in here and help? She throws her stuff down, runs into the food truck, gets in there. She has no idea what she's doing. I'm just like, help Renee on the line. So she gets the gloves on, starts making food for Renee. And we're like, you're hired. So we went through that whole rush. She skipped class that day. Didn't go to her class. She's like, I'm going to help you guys. So we run the whole lunch shift with her. And we're like, you looking for a job? She's been asking us for a while. We're like, well, you're hired. So she would come in between classes from like 11:30 to like 1:30 to get us through the rush. And then she's a couple months after that, she's like, my friend Ruby wants a job. So we brought Ruby in, and then little by little, that's kind of how it went. But that was our first employee. Yeah,
they're a great family.
They are.
Just a good man. He's like a legend in the surf community.
He got
bit by the shark, and then he went to the bar. He's like, I'm going to the hospital. I'm just going to get a beer. Right?
Yeah, great family. They're awesome.
Like all of a sudden, just poop legend status.
Yeah, they're good people. They're a special place in our heart for sure. They're awesome.
We'll go to dinner with the extended family on Darcy's side, and we Oliver's about 8 or 9 years old, and we go eat, and Franklin's our waiter, and we're like, hey, ask him what happened to him when he's surfing. Got bit by a shark. His eyes are like this big, it's like, legend, man, just legend. So just funny. A great family. That is so cool that's how you got your first.
That was our first employee. We weren't looking to hire someone. We needed it, and she was right there, jumped to the opportunity. It was awesome.
That is so cool. How many employees do you have now?
Now, probably 14 or so, give or take. Between the two locations.
But you guys run a tight. You guys run a really tight operation.
We do. We try to. That's like what we're known for. Like obviously the freshness of our food. We really pride ourselves in keeping the food very fresh. Staff, we want to make sure that they're very friendly. Our service is another thing that we're really keen on.
Very friendly.
We try to. Yeah. We thank you, and that's like a big thing. Like we call it the 3 Fs: fast, fresh, friendly. And then the speed of which we get the food out. That's like a really big thing for us because pretty much do lunch. We just started doing breakfast downtown, but we're doing breakfast downtown from 8 to 11 every day. Yeah, the breakfast is great, dude. It's really good. It's only a couple menu items, but it's fire. I didn't even know they were
doing breakfast downtown. I'm hyped.
Yeah, we started doing it about a month ago. It's been good.
A full report tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
I want a text back. I want to know how it was.
You'll get a picture and everything.
Get a picture, yeah. But the efficiency is a big part because it's like, we do lunch, and that's like people get 30-minute lunch break. So we drill that into them. Like, hey, they're only here for 30 minutes on their break. If they're 10 minutes driving through traffic, 20 nowadays, they need to get their food quickly. So that's, we really try to stay on top of that.
You guys do a great job at that, right? Because we typically get hung up in that Tuesday meeting. Sometimes we have an hour, sometimes like 40 minutes, but we always know if we run it, we get there in time.
Yeah.
For us to eat, we're good. We know you're not it's 5 minutes to get the food. Awesome.
We try to make, the ticket times, like that's like, my wife and I, we're sticklers on that. It's like, if ticket times run more than 5-6 minutes, we're like, hey, like, let's get this out. Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
So what is Nights of Light Studio? You guys how busy?
So be honest with you, Nights of Light, I'm not disparaging it because it's amazing for the community and for all the businesses and stuff. It has zero effect on us. It actually sometimes slows us down because all the locals avoid downtown like the plague. So like, we're not open for dinner. We close at 3:30 every day. So Nights of Lights, people start pouring into downtown like in the early evening time. So we don't really get very much of that like Nights of Lights traffic. We will get people that are in town for the holiday season, like the tourists and stuff. They'll come for lunch if they're kicking around, but we don't get any of the Nights of Lights push from that. If anything, like I said, it kind of like discourages locals from going downtown because they know from end of November till like pretty much through New Year's, downtown's off limits for the most part,
And part of the reason the studio's here on Lewis Speedway and not downtown, because our original
I remember
location
in the old
was
cigar factory,
the old cigar factory,
right behind us,
and it was great until Nights of Light started.
I know.
And
you can't even get it in out of there.
We could get there because the show started at 5 and you get there about 4:30. It wasn't bad, but you couldn't get out. Friday nights it was like it didn't matter which way you went.
No.
It was an hour out of the downtown. You're like, I looked at Troy and Pete. I'm like, I got a great space for you guys.
Yeah.
I'll make this really worth your while. Worth it. Because I don't want to have to get in and out. I mean, I avoid like 3:30 to me. I'd be like looking at my staff. If I was, we got 20 minutes to clean this place up and get out of here while we can.
Yeah, while you can, right? Get out while you can.
It's crazy. What about like spring break?
Springtime is our biggest season. Like springtime always is like from like early March right around now till probably end of May. That's when we like really get busy. That's like our peak season, especially when we were in the food truck was like that because the weather was turning. Everybody wanted to go out and do stuff. And I think a lot of like vacationers, snowbirds and stuff, and people that are like cooped up in the winter when they're all snowed in, they come down to Florida and they're like, weather's perfect, let's go. And then healthy food kind of, goes in your mind.
You guys are on lists all over. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the St. Augustine list, you guys show up on all of the best restaurants and places to eat and those kind of things, which I think is awesome and well deserved.
Thank you.
So, how's the new restaurant? How's the new location? US 1
awesome.
South.
US 1, yeah. So the new location, for anyone that doesn't know, we opened it last year in June. So it's been almost 9-10 months already. We've been there. It is in the Marshall Shopping Plaza on US 1, right across from Home Depot.
Yep.
It's right next to our good friends at the Kookaburra Coffee Shop. We had our eyes on that spot for 4 or 5 years. When we were still in the food truck, we looked at that spot when it was Schmegel's. Schmegel's Bagels. They went out. We looked at that space. Spot. Yeah. And then it turned into Donut Spot. Clay Nettles and them did that. And we had our eye on that location for a long time, but it was too small for an only location because we were looking to move out of the food truck into a brick and mortar for a while. And that we didn't want to like kind of make a lateral move. We wanted to like expand and get more seating and more capacity. So it didn't work out if we were just going to do the one, but so we opened the first location, the first brick and mortar downtown for about 5 years, ran that. And then this location became available last year. And we jumped on it because we were like, we don't want to miss it. We like that location. I think US 1 312 is like the epicenter of St. Augustine. Like it's the most traversed intersection in the whole county. That shopping center is always busy. It's got anchor tenants that are great. And my wife, my little one's now in school full time. She's in kindergarten. So my wife was home with her for the first like 3.5 years. And right when she started going to VPK, my wife's like, hey, I want to come back to work. We had already, gotten her position taken care of. We're like, well, we don't need it. So, we can let people go, bring you back. But, if we want to do, we'll get back to work. We got to figure something out.
How did that conversation go?
So
honey, we don't need you.
It
Please
was
tell me it didn't go over that way.
No, for the longest time, she's like, I want to basically not have to work inside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to work on the business, not in the business.
Yeah.
And that's the thing we struggle with a lot, to be honest. So like that is hard to like grow the business, improve the business if you're in there every day.
Yep.
So we were like, all right, your position's been filled. So like, let's work on something else. And she's like, let's open a second location. Yeah. And I was like, you want to do that? And she was like, yeah, let's do it. I'm like, all right, well, let's see where you want. And then, like, no joke, like 2 weeks later, we get a call from our friends that run the Kookaburra.
Yeah.
And they're like, the spot next to us is coming available. It hasn't gone up yet, but like, if you guys want to get in there and check it out, we jumped on it. And she's been running that location, the new one. I've been downtown. We split our efforts, and it's been great. It's been super. It's a lot of our local like core that got us established in the food truck originally, because we saw for a long time all locals. And then the last couple of years, downtown has been a little bit more difficult to get in and out of. It's just a lot of people coming in and out, tourism and stuff. And we've seen a lot of our regulars avoiding downtown, and we've kind of lost a lot of that clientele. So this new location is definitely bringing all the locals back, and the response was very good, like very happy.
Well, I think it's a smart move with what's coming on King Street and what's coming with the bridge. That bridge build is going to be...
It's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Do you know when they're going to start that project? Or
the last that I heard, and we've tried to kind of track it as much as possible, because we got that work down at Flagler College, right? And all of our material has to come in and out of the downtown. But after July 4th is the latest I heard from somebody at the city, that we're going to get through the city was smart enough to go, let's get through the 4th of July weekend, and then you can start it. And then they're still looking at about a year, which puts us through one whole Nights of Light season. And then DOT in February next year, after Nights of Lights, is supposed to do raising the seawall from the Bridge of Lions to the Castillo. So that work will be going on coming over the Bridge of Lions. You'll have the other bridge done. So the downtown is, I think you guys having that other location out of downtown is going to be huge.
Yeah, that was another driving factor. Like just accessibility downtown is becoming difficult. And we've seen a lot of people that we know in the industry, like kind of move. I mean, Mike Lugo out of downtown. There's a few other people that are like vacating the downtown. And we'll see how it evolves.
Well, I'll be curious, because you might have more of a captive audience.
They'll be stuck there, you know?
I'm not fighting the traffic.
Exactly, I'm stuck here, yeah.
And that area has become kind of a little foodie area. I mean, you had Carmelo's, Joe Tringali's, you had 123 Burger House. There's a lot of little shops and stuff down there. You guys have been open. There's a taco place, and then across the street, Southern Ground just opened up,
coffee shop.
Which I think that's just a nice add to that area.
For sure, it brings more people to that area. Yeah, any addition to any area enhances it and brings more people looking to eat and hang out and shop.
And Whetstone's is right there. People get off the train.
They
want to go get something to eat. And so I think you guys are it's a great location.
Yeah, we just got to get through this next year when they do that there. Trust me, it's like it's been on the back of our radar. Like, man, when they start that, it's going to be tough, but we'll just, we'll deal with it as we go.
I have kind of a selfish question.
Yeah.
So
can you get a discount?
No, that's not it. But I'm just here more so just curious on your thoughts on this, right?
Yeah.
So as you know, my brother and I travel a lot for the gaming stuff, and when we went to California a couple years ago, I realized that no matter what time of day it was, I could get healthy food. I could get it at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., DoorDash, all that. In St. Augustine, after 6 p.m., 7 p.m., when, some of the healthier food trucks close, there's no place to get what would be called healthy food,
healthy
right?
Dinner,
it's only fast food. Have you ever thought about that?
We have.
Has that ever crossed your mind?
We have thought about it every which way from the sun. Trust me.
Can I push you to cook at home and just do the DoorDash to just deliver to Levi's house if Levi's ready?
Special delivery to Levi.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. He and his wife would like to make $250 a year. So as long as you can guarantee him that, he will be your personal chef.
Well, no, there's a market for that.
No, there is for sure. We've talked about it a bunch of times too. Like, what would it take to extend the hours and stuff, especially at the new location on 312 and US 1. Like, I don't want to say we're working on it, but it's definitely a conversation that we've had plenty of times.
I just wanted to put that in your mind too, because that's like a big issue for us, because my brother streams a lot. So like he has to order DoorDash, and he can only order what's available on DoorDash after 6 p.m. And there's not many things that are available.
No, I get it, and like especially like the after work crowd. Like if you don't have time to go get lunch, like you don't get that break. you get off of work at 5 o'clock. You got Bailey's gym right across the street.
Yep.
You know, there's a bunch of gyms all in that area. So
Yep.
it's like after 5 p.m., everyone's hungry. They're working out.
Yep.
They want to eat something quick and easy, healthy.
Yep.
So yeah, it's definitely being discussed right now for sure. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah.
It's not a selfish question at all, bro.
the town
I'm
needs
glad
that,
to know.
though.
I'm glad to know that the good feedback. You know, to know that that's like a niche that
I've
needs to
definitely
get filled.
spoken to multiple people because even Jordan and I have looked at being like, hey, we could open because DoorDash has that in-home kitchen thing now where you can open.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
It's like blowing up in like big metropolitan areas where you can just go to the grocery store, buy your own ingredients, put a menu on DoorDash, and
Crazy,
then DoorDash
right?
drivers can pick it up from your house.
There's some really funny fails that are, there's like a Reddit board of funny fails from that.
Oh,
So if you do Reddit at all, that's a funny
But there's
deep dive.
also some success stories too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, you know, there's two sides to both
The
coins.
internet opens up so many opportunities. It's crazy.
It does.
Like
it's wild.
so crazy.
Yeah. And you guys have a decent following. Speaking of social media, you guys have a decent following on social media. I think it's like 18 and a half
like
followers
18,000.
on Instagram.
We like social media. It's fun. Like it's like it's like a double-edged sword. Like I see the positive in it, and then there's a lot of negative in it. We try to use it just for what it should be used for, in my opinion, for our business. It's like a tool to promote our business, and obviously we like to be interactive with guests and stuff on there. People comment, we like to comment back and stuff like that. Entertainment purposes too, like, you know, posting some funny videos and stuff and content like that. We'll do every once in a while, but it's definitely helped us a lot. I mean, it's free advertising. So like in order to get, like you look at old school advertising, like in order to get your product in front of 18,000 people, that costs a lot of money, a lot of legwork, knocking on doors, putting ads and flyers out. So the fact that you can literally just like type a few things, post a picture, and bam, in seconds, it be like spread to all these people is pretty powerful tool. So, you know, social media is definitely the main marketing tool that we use, honestly.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
Yeah. And I mean, I see your social media page all the time. So I see like new things that you guys have going on, what's going on with the hours, all that. It's a great tool. It's a great tool.
Yeah. We try to utilize it as much as we can without letting it like consume you. Cause then you get stuck on that
consuming.
thing. It's a slippery slope for sure. You get on there, start scrolling, and you're like, oh my
Trust
God.
me, I know I work in the industry.
You get it. Yeah.
So how'd you get to Flagler? How'd you pick Flagler out of all the, because you came to pick Flagler. And so how'd you get to Flagler College?
So I grew up in Miami originally. My parents lived in Miami. They're Cuban, born and raised in Cuba, defected to Miami from there when they were in their teens. And we used to come vacation in St. Augustine all the time when we were little. My parents loved going camping. So we had a pop-up camper we would get in. We hated it when we were little. But we would come and stay at Anastasia State Park since I was, 5, 6, 7 years old.
Yep.
And every summer we would take 2 trips up to St. Augustine every summer. And then randomly in the wintertime, like for Christmas break, if we had a long enough break from school, we'd come up here as well. So we were coming vacationing in St. Augustine forever. It was my mom's dream to have one of her boys go to college at Flagler. So my older brother graduated, needed to stay in state. Got a scholarship to play basketball at Flagler with Bo Clark. So he came up here, played ball there, and then I'm 2 years younger than him. So when I graduated, I was like, I need to get as far away from mom and dad as I can, but stay for in-state tuition because we had the Bright Future scholarships and all that. So I was like, oh, go live with Alex. So I came up here to Flagler with him. We were familiar with the town because we had been here a million times. So
who's your older brother?
Alex Guardiola. I don't know.
I had no idea that y'all were related. I mean, I grew up in the Flagler basketball gym.
He played 1 year for Flagler his freshman year, and then it didn't work out. So he put threw the towel in.
But I totally remember him though, because I was like, I mean, obviously I grew up with Matt Clark, so I was very entwined
the Clark family,
with the Clark
legends
family,
right there, dude. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a 14-year veteran of the Bo Clark basketball camp when I was a kid.
We came to Bo Clark's camp multiple times as little kids. Yeah, very cool.
That's awesome.
Did you ever drag your dad to the father-son camp?
Oh no, we didn't do it, but we knew about it. We knew about it.
Did you used to do the father-son camp?
We did the father-son camp every year. And it was so much fun because a lot of the dads were local dads that you knew that you'd play ball with. And all of a sudden you're out there with your kids and with them. And, when we got to there was a section where the kids would play 5-on-5 and then the adults would play 5-on-5. It was like a half-court 5. It was way too many people.
Way too many people for the half-court.
So we just look at the dads and go, look, the goal is not to win.
Yeah.
We have Friday night, and then we got to come back Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So you want to walk in the gym Saturday morning, and we want to walk out of the gym Saturday. So the whole goal is not to kill each other.
Just to outlast each other. Yeah.
We're just here to have fun.
Yeah.
But one year, I had 3 boys. They're all at the camp at the same time. And I was going from different age groups and different. I think I ran the layup drill like 12 times.
Oh God!
It was crazy. It's
so
like they'd
much.
be like, Davis down at the other end, and I just had finished one, and I'd run down the other end, and sometimes I'll look at the kids and go, that was a pretty good round for me.
Yeah.
But I want you to know I left everything at the other end.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything left, but it was super fun. Bo was always great about that.
Bo's amazing. That whole family, they're awesome.
Just fun to be out there with your kids.
Yeah. And funny too. My uncle, my dad's brother, ran a huge basketball camp down in Miami called Go All Pro. Big camp down there. So we would come up here, and it was we would always bother my uncle. We're like, oh, Bo's camp so much better than yours, Willie. Because we would go to his summer camp all summer long, and then for like the week that we would go to St. Augustine for camping, we would go to Bo Clark's camp, and we would be like, oh, his camp blows yours out of the water. We'd come back with the Bo Clark t-shirts, and he'd be like, take that off. It was so funny.
I still have one father-son shirt I refuse to get rid of. I keep holding on to it. In fact, we got an interview with Bo a couple of years ago, and I wore that for the interview.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was like, I hardly ever wear this because I'm trying to save it. But we go back, my youngest brother Rhett started going to his camps. So when Bo had all the shirts up on the wall, I'm like, Bo, I think I think I got about 60 or 65% of the shirts between my brother and my kids.
They're kicking around somewhere.
We've got a lot of those. And then I would laugh because all of them came from the Sports Corner.
Sports Corner.
So like,
that's where we get
Sports Corner money.
That's where we get our t-shirts. Sports Corner. Yeah.
Micah just retired.
I saw. You know, it's funny. On the way here, I saw it on their sign. They say, "Congrats, Micah." Whatever.
I was just about to ask if they were still there. They retired.
They retired. Molly, their daughter, and her husband have taken it over. They're running it. Nice. Because Drew and Micah Jr. are accountants together. So they're doing that. They're right across the street at Kluge and T-Bolt and Kluge. So they're doing a really good job. But Molly's doing wonderful. We bought all of our gear from them for forever.
Yeah, that's where we've gotten hats, shirts, all of our stuff from them since we opened, like since pretty much day one.
Just a great
family. And they're all of them come eat at Crave at least once or twice a week. It's like they'll call, hey, this is so and so. I already know their order by heart. Like, they're super regulars.
Now, trying to get them on the show because a lot of people don't realize the original Sports Corner isn't there anymore. Right? The original Sports Corner was the turn from San Marco onto May Street before they did the roundabout.
Really? I didn't know that.
That was the original Sports Corner.
Over by the carousel where that was?
Right across from where the carousel was. There was a
like where Cortesi's is, or no?
No, on the other side. On the east side.
By Dunkin' Donuts.
There was a row of buildings past Dunkin' Donuts. They took all of that out to make that roundabout.
Wow.
That's where the original Sports Corner was.
Okay, so right up the road from where they are now.
I grew up playing soccer with Micah and Drew, so we used to get all our stuff from there. Baseball stuff, soccer
everything.
Stuff, everything.
School uniform.
Basically.
School,
everything.
That's too funny.
So your parents, when did they come from Cuba to the United States?
They were born in 54 in the 60s.
So they came over right after
Fidel.
Yeah. Because there's obviously a huge Cuban community in South Florida, especially Miami area.
Yeah.
But St. Augustine actually had a really good has a good bunch Cuban community as well. There's a lot of docs that are up here that they grew up in South Florida and relocated up here, and
Tampa, Miami, a lot of big Cuban community. Yeah.
And then St. Joe actually had Cuban boarders that stayed at the school, and this was before Castro, and then after Castro, they were in Miami and still staying here. But some of them were able to get out, some weren't. So my mom knew some folks that were going back, but we'll be back next year, and they never made it back.
Never made it back.
Made it back out again. So,
So I have a question. So as someone that jumped headfirst into the entrepreneurship lifestyle with no business plan, like you said, no knowledge of anything.
Didn't know anything.
Back, looking back over the years, right? For some of our audience that is has a dream, wants to do that, scared to make that leap. What's one thing that you've learned over the years that you think would be the best advice you could pass to a new entrepreneur?
Man, that's a good question. Best advice to a new entrepreneur.
Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it, bro. You're better off not knowing.
It was like Andreas was sitting there looking at us. I'm like, I'm trying to get you to think.
It's gonna be hard work. Literally, that's like that's where I've gone through so many cycles in the way I think about everything. Like and anything. Like you work at a job, you open your own business. It's work. A lot of people do get enamored, especially like what we talked about, social media. they see the glitz and the glamour of running your business, and they're like, oh, I don't do the 9 to 5. I'm my own boss. I can I can travel and make money. It's going to be work. And if it's something that you're passionate about and you care about, you're going to have to work and expect it to take longer than you expect.
Yeah.
So that's like, just to mentally get ready. Like, it is going to be a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of days where you're like, I really don't want to go do it, but no one's going to come do it. You got to show up. So, but then there's also tons of rewards in it. You know, I wake up every morning. I know it sounds very cheesy and cliche, but I truly wake up every morning and I'm like filled with appreciation and gratitude that people actually want to come eat our food. And it's like, it's a weird feeling because it's like, we've been doing this going on 12 years now. July will be our 12-year anniversary, which is like crazy. But we wake up every morning like, how do people like Crave? I ask myself that all the time. I'm like, why do people, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's very humbling and it's an honor to be able to go and serve the community that we love and that we live in every day. And that motivates you as well. Cause you're like on days where you're like, man, I really don't feel like grinding today. I don't want to do this, but it gives you that extra push to like go and be like, hey, people showing up, paying their hard-earned money to eat my food and my product that I'm serving you. It's a pretty cool feeling. So that really gets you over the hump of like, this is a lot of work.
Yeah, social media paints this picture that it's like this.
For sure, man. It's a roller coaster.
It's like this. It's more like climbing a rock.
Yeah, and truth be told, like, you know, everyone look, you know, people see it, oh, you guys have a successful business. We've been in business for 12 years, but there's been huge downturns for us. The last 2 years, especially since all this inflation has set in, I mean, our margins have gotten crushed. Like they've eaten our lunch, no pun intended. So we've had to get really creative on ways to figure out how to like become more profitable and cut costs here and figure things out. Because it's been the last 2 years, I will say, recently things are starting to get a little better, but it was probably one of the 2 toughest years that we've ever had in business. Even though we opened a new location and all that. It's been tough.
How's your egg supply doing?
Dude, I go to Aldi sometimes to get random things. They stop me at 2 cartons. It was not for Crave, but like get 2 cartons for the house. They're like, only 2. I'm like, I wanted to get 3 cartons today because they finally had eggs and they didn't want me to do it. I'm like, what is going on?
The farmer's market.
Dude, man. You can't get pasture-raised eggs. Aldi has some good pasture-raised eggs that are reasonably priced.
When they're there.
They're never there. Once a week you'll get them. And I wanted to load up and the lady was like, only 2. I'm like, man.
In the homeschool world, you have lots of friends with chickens.
Oh, yeah. No, we got plenty of friends with that, but they're hoarding the eggs right now.
Like, this family has a table full of their eggs. This family has a table full of their eggs. This other family has got like, you know, text me if you need a carton of eggs, I'll bring them and drop off. It's crazy.
That's worth its weight in gold right now. It's crazy, huh?
Our neighbor across the street has had chickens for forever. But she walks them before I get home from work, right? And so I'm home last Friday, and at 4:30 or so, and she's walking the chickens down the driveway and back up. And I'm like, Andreas, when did she get? Oh, she's had chickens for forever. I'm like, why have we not getting? Yeah,
why haven't we gotten some eggs?
I've been getting eggs.
Where's the housewarming gift? Really, what's going on, dude?
Right.
So I've solved the egg mystery. I read it today. So Elon Musk and Doge, they made it to Fort Knox.
Yeah.
There's no
all
gold.
eggs.
There's
it's
no
all
gold.
eggs.
It's all eggs. All the eggs are in Fort Knox.
They opened the vault. It's all eggs.
They're worth more money, so they're all there. So yeah. No, that has been. I've talked to. We had talked about Andy, Anastasia Diner, right? Because he's in the same boat, and you get these huge price increases, and you're trying to figure out, well, I got to run a new menu.
Man, it's been crazy.
What do I got to do to get this done?
It's been crazy.
People going to accept that.
Everyone knows it because everyone goes to the grocery store. Everyone goes to fill up their car with gas. Everyone goes out to eat. So it's like it's not a secret anymore. Everything is expensive. Like you can't leave your house without spending a bunch of money. So it's like it was seemingly overnight. Invoices come in and you look at them. All right, all good. And then one day you're just like, whoa. I mean, everything across the board literally almost doubled. And I'm like, a case of spring mix that goes on every item at Crave that used to run us, $18, $19 is now $38. And I'm like, what do I do? And it's like that for everything.
Yeah.
To-go containers and cups and lids and olive oil and all the veggies, you're like chicken, all of it, beef. So it's like, it was a scary time because we're like, you could not keep up with the price increases because every single week they were going up. And you're like, okay, increase here, going up, printing new menus. You're like sitting there like with whiteout, changing prices on your menu because you can't keep up. And it's like, then you go out to eat at other places and you're like, man, everything's so expensive, but like it has to be to stay in business.
Yep.
People aren't gouging. That's just the cost of living. You go to fast food, rarely eat fast food. Went to fast food. I won't name the place. was like $14 for a hamburger and fries.
Crazy.
No drink, no. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like fast food was supposed to be what you spent.
It was Chick-fil-A,
like $5. But it was like for a sandwich and fries. I'm like, it blew my mind. I'm like, damn, we need to increase prices again. Like it was wild.
So if I'm gonna blow the diet, it's McDonald's. It's 2 regular hamburgers, no cheese, and some fries. Right. I used to be able to run through and get that for $5.25.
Yeah.
I knew exactly what it was.
For sure.
Because a lot of times all I had was $5.25.
Yeah.
I had 3 ones and I had a whole bunch of quarters in the center count. And I'm handing them all.
Get it to it.
But I knew exactly what it was. I went a couple of years ago and it was like $9 for the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm like,
everything's doubled.
God.
Everything's doubled.
Yeah.
Gas doubled, groceries doubled, everything.
Well, as you're telling me this, I'm going to imagine we're just like one day I'm going to ride past the gate station down here and the gate sign is going to be gone.
Yeah.
Because you can electronically change that from
it.
the inside.
That's it.
Like Andreas is going to have one of those inside the store. It's just going to be hooked up to the
just
computer.
a computerized menu board. Yeah.
No, it is. I think most people realize that now. And I'm not the food industry's gone through, construction industry. My gosh, if you ask me what things cost, it's insane.
I have plenty of friends in that industry that they tell me it's crazy.
It's insane. I mean, and people look at us and go, well, it used to cost this. I know it used to cost that, but now it's 3 times that. So I'm not, but as a person who goes out and eats lunch, I know what I'm paying for 2 lunches now.
It literally
was 3 or 4. I could get 3 or 4 lunches for that pre-COVID. It's all changed and it never has come back down.
Yeah. And
if you don't make the price changes, you won't be there.
And that's the thing. We struggle with that for so long because we always prided ourselves in being like an affordable place to eat. And it's like, we still think our prices are fair for what we offer.
They are.
But it's like, man, it was hard for us to like increase prices because I know like all these people are struggling too. And it's like, I hate charging you this. I have to gulp when I tell you your total. But it's like, if we don't charge that, like
we're not going to be in business.
We're not going to be business. Exactly.
Yeah.
My staff's not going to make any money. And like, they're all wanting more.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. So, it's just, it's been a weird last couple of years. And like, I'm hoping things come back down price wise. I don't know if they will. Cause it's like everyone's now the anchor prices are here. Are people just going to say, oh, I'll save you some money? Or is that the new normal? Who knows?
Right.
So only time will tell, you know?
All right. So, we got what, 10 minutes left, 8 minutes left. Yeah. So, what do we expect from the future with Crave? What's on the horizon? The short horizon, the long horizon. What do you guys got going on?
We have a few opportunities right now that have presented themselves in the short term to open new locations. So we want to kind of figure that out. We have a couple things that we're working on right now, and our big dream, our pie in the sky kind of thing, we would like to eventually franchise if that's in the cards. That's obviously a totally different role than we're used to because we've been since day one owner operators, and we've tried several times to take a step back and just run our business instead of working in it, but we like it too much. And like I love being in there. I love seeing the customers. I like working with the guys and the staff and all that. So eventually we want to get to the point where we can kind of scale it to grow and open a lot of locations. You know what I mean? So that's, in a nutshell, the future plans for Crave. We got a couple things in the works in the short term right now. And then we'd like to get
St. Johns County, outside St. Johns County.
One in St. Johns County, one out. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So
people need to experience Crave, man.
I really think like, we've been open for this while now. Like, I think our concept would work anywhere it went. I really do. I think like in small towns and stuff, and even big cities, like I think fast, healthy lunch works. You know what I mean? And I think it's something that we've had so many
demand
people
for it in the marketplace.
It is, yeah, and like everyone wants to be healthy now. There's a big push for it, and I think the world needs it. People need healthier options because you got so many fast food chains that are everywhere, and it's like healthy food is something that like you cannot have enough of. I really do believe that. So,
and that's just in America, by the way. If you go overseas, there's tons of healthy mom and pop shops everywhere.
Yes, let me rephrase that. In this country, we need
time.
that. Yeah,
big time. But I think we're seeing a shift.
Big shift. Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with like people's awareness and access to information.
Access to information.
That's what it is. Like for a long time, people just didn't have the access to information. Now, I mean, you can go anywhere on the internet, wherever, and you can see like, whoa, that's what they're putting in the food that I'm eating. That's what they're spraying on this. It's a whole rabbit hole you go down, and you're just like, geez,
I just saw
crazy.
Joe Rogan bash Girl Scout cookies the other day. It's
the Girl Scout cookie thing.
It's a viral clip about how terrible Girl Scout cookies are. What's in them? The seed oils. Oh my gosh.
I saw that same clip.
I've been off food Girl Scout cookies for a very long time.
Yeah.
And my husband and I differ on that because he very much enjoys Girl Scout cookies. So I won't buy them.
Yeah.
I'm not buying these cookies. And so they'd come into the house and I would just give him the side eye. He's like, what? I can't say no. She was so cute. She asked me.
When Rogan did that, all I could remember and I don't know whether it's true, not true, all the stuff that he went through, right, about the Girl Scout cookies, but it was like Negan.
Yeah.
In the first episode of The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And just, it's like, oh, here comes the bad.
Why would you do that?
So not going to be nice. And
Yeah.
it was just like, oh, really? No.
Yeah.
And then you have to think about, and the producers of the cookies are not the sellers of the cookies.
No,
right?
exactly.
And you have all these cute little girls that are trying to sell these cookies, and all of a sudden you're like,
just last
the biggest
night.
podcaster says, don't eat those cookies. Like,
Those girls are never going to get the fundraising they need now.
Right.
Just last night, I'm walking into Publix and these little girls are out there. They're like 10 years old selling Girl Scout cookies. And I'm like, oh, I'm not buying them now. It's like, sorry, Chris.
I see when I go to Publix on
Have you checked Spotify today? You're not going to like what you see. But that's just like, I guess like rule of thumb, like, processed food in general. I feel like at this point, everyone is aware that like processed food is not what it used to be. And in like we try, especially we have a young daughter now. My wife and I, we eat very healthy. We work out every day. We're very, that's our lifestyle and that's like our passion.
Yep.
But that's not to say like I'll have a slice of pizza. I'll eat a burger. I'll have cookies and ice cream with my kid. Like we don't want to be so rigid, but it's like the majority, like the vast majority of our food is whole foods. Does not come out of a package, really clean. And then every once in a while, if I'm out with some friends, I'm going to eat some junk. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be that guy that's like at a kid's birthday party is like, no, honey, you can't have that cupcake because I don't want to do that. Right. But, everything in moderation. But I do think like we're talking about the consciousness level and the awareness of what is healthy now is exponentially, higher. And a lot of people are waking up, which is really cool.
But
cool
the healthier you eat and the longer you eat healthy, the less you crave those other foods.
100%.
You just really don't want to eat that.
Yeah. And like you look at it too, like a cookie now is not what a cookie was when we were kids, especially when you guys were kids.
Yeah.
Like cookie when you guys were kids was, cane sugar and some, flour and chocolate chips.
Yeah.
Now there's ingredient lists of words that you can't even pronounce. Half of it's like eubonics, like you don't even know what it is. Longer shelf life, exactly. And it's like you don't even know what's in this food anymore. It's not food. You've seen these videos that they take McDonald's hamburgers and put them in a shoebox for 6-10 years and it comes out no mold. I'm like, that's not food. Those are like chemical additives. Not to knock you.
But it's not the McDonald's
real
food. When
food.
I was a kid.
It's not.
No, it's not.
It's not done the same way. They changed all this stuff. They have all these healthy options. And if you don't look at the ingredients on the back, there's all these examples of the healthy option being worse for you than the regular option. And the regular option is not good for you to begin with.
Like the gluten-free or the vegan or the sugar-free this or the plant-based burger. I'm like, just eat ground beef.
There's an app out there I'd recommend to everyone. And if you like your grocery list right now, don't download it. But if you want to know what's in your food, it's called Foodikit. So it's like educating food put together. Okay. All you do is scan the back of the barcode and it tells you if it gives it a grade, A, B, C, or D.
What's that one called?
It's called Foodikit. So it's like food, then U, then CAT.
Okay.
So Foodikit. And then what I really like about it is it'll say, hey, this is where yours is at. These are healthier options. These are healthier alternatives
to that same product.
To that exact same product.
That's cool.
So
that's
then,
really cool.
and it's free. So it's great.
Great app. Yeah,
exactly.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I was drinking the energy drinks, right?
Oh yeah, I got them off the energy drinks.
Ooh, those are
V8s.
Those are addictive too.
I went to the V8 energy drink, right? It's like, well, it's got to be healthy for me. It's V8 stuff.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, all the bad stuff that's in Red Bull is in that.
Yeah.
Right? And when I quit, it only took me about a week to kind of get over it. But I noticed I was sleeping better at night.
Yeah.
I felt a whole lot better.
Yeah.
I didn't have these up-down crashes in the afternoons. And so now if I get tired, I'll go have a little bit of coffee or something before I come down here.
I got them on the black coffee and honey.
There you go.
Yep, that's all you need, baby.
A little bit of black coffee.
Actually, it was you, and I was reading the Terminal List.
Oh, that's what it was.
The books. And James Reese, who's the hero in the James Carr novels, he mixes cream and honey. And I was like, I am not putting cream in my coffee, but I'll try the honey. I'll give you the honey.
Get a little sweetness,
and I will tell you, this year, with all this pollen, my sinuses have been the best they've been. Because I only buy the local honey. I will not buy...
local honey.
Local honey.
That's what we use on all our stuff at work.
I get it from the farmer's market.
Yeah, Bee Hill Farms. That's where we get our stuff. They're awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, and that's what's awesome. I mean, just really, really good. Well, come back. We're going to run out of time.
Yeah.
Come back and see us again. Bring your wife.
I wanted to. We couldn't get someone to watch the kid and whatnot. I don't want to bring her in here. She'd be bouncing off the walls. So, but we'll come back for sure.
Louis found us and he wants me to tell you hi for him.
Okay. Yes. What's that, Louis? That's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah. So good to have you. So glad. I mean, you're a success story here. And when you were talking, the passion you had about you get up every day and you're excited about that, and you're humbled by what people, that comes through when you walk into your store.
Thank you.
When you walk in there, you're like, there's a guy who's happy to see me here, who's happy I'm buying his food, and is happy to be doing his job. That all comes through. And I just want you to know, as one of your customers, we see that.
We do.
That
means a lot, and
I really get that.
I appreciate it, and we'll let the staff know too, because it's they we wouldn't be where we are without their help too.
You're not
awesome.
all like the soup Nazi. No burrito, no Crave burrito for you. You're not all like that, and everybody gets that when they go in there. And the vibe is really cool in there. I mean, because I think you guys set that tone.
Cool.
You set it with your employees, and it just kind of flows through. So I think you guys do an amazing job of that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming, man.
We appreciate it. Thank you for having us. We're really excited to be here. Thank you.
All right. Tomorrow, there's no show in the morning.
Leaving.
I'm leaving. I have a fraternity get together, the 34th golf tournament that we've done together at Florida Southern. So I'll be gone tomorrow afternoon. Amanda's going to run the show. She's going to run circles around the Bollocks boys, which won't be hard because it's just Troy. And
well, I
Blake
beat him last week in trivia, so now I get to run trivia.
Oh.
The punishment.
You know, Lenny's very susceptible to certain types of questions, so just find those.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. So there's some good stuff out there. And go to Florida Man Games this weekend. If you don't have tickets, get tickets. Pete Melfi is working tirelessly to make this the best Florida Man Games ever. Even though it's the second Florida Man Games. He is.
It's going to be better.
It's going to be better. It's a bigger venue. It's bigger. He's crushing it.
It's at the fairgrounds, right?
It's at the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you don't have tickets, get tickets. Go see that. And I'll see you guys. Well, Amanda will be here tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow.
Yep.
Bye.
See you guys.